Okay, hello. My name is Brenton Robertson, and I'm here to talk to you about the ways that Dexel has used BIM technology to design and construct projects here in Halifax. I've been with Dexel for 5 years now. 2 of those years has been as an intern architect. Our office has been using BIM for approximately 6 years in total, though. Louis Lawin, Dexel's CEO, has made exploring the new technology innovations a priority of our firm. When he chose to introduce BIM software, the goal was to allow us to visualize our ideas quickly and in a way that would be executed or that could be accessed simultaneously by both architects and project managers on site. It has taken a few projects for us to use BIM as effectively as we had hoped, but we're getting there. My first experience with BIM was during the design and construction of Vertu, a project built above Pete's Boutique, shown here. So, it's located at 1530 Birmingham Street and was construction started in mid-2011 and was completed in 2013. Just to kind of go over a couple of the challenges, again, we built on top of an existing roof, so it was a little bit challenging to actually get that completed. So the way that we did that is we actually used as-built drawings from previous phases and confirmed those preliminary as-builts with a BIM model and a total point station. So kind of taking older drawings, creating a BIM model for it, and then confirming that on top of the roof of the structure. So just kind of a nice way to do a full simulation before you get to it, because there's a lot of things happening underneath there. So just to go back to another challenge that we had was material management. Dexel is architecture and development as well as property or project management firm. So we kind of have our hands in all of the parts and pieces. So just getting to know what information the project manager needed to get the drywall to the unit or the countertops to the unit or all of that was really important and kind of started us on the path of using BIM for that reason. Another thing that was that we were challenged with in this project was the cladding system. We needed to ensure that the panels that we created were 100% going to fit on the building. This was our first kind of step into that realm, so we use mostly 2D information for this, but in time we had the vision of wanting to use 3D elements to actually look through cladding materials. Other aspects that our firm found really beneficial for this was just structural confirmation with the architectural intent. Actually running the interference, making sure that that steel portion and the concrete portion are going to fit together and there's not anything in the way. Another challenge was the view planes that were around the site. As you know, Halifax Citadel has many view planes off of it, and constructing in and around them is challenging, to say the least. So what BIM allowed us to do is to actually model in the view plane over top of the building and look to see actual points that our building was getting too close to it or not close at all. So it was really helpful for that. So the completed building is a product of countless hours of hard work from all of the parties involved, and it can actually really be seen quite well in some of these photos, courtesy of Gary Britton Photography. So just taking a look at these, this is the main lobby and elevator lobby. This one here is the rooftop terrace and amenity space for the residents. So that's that space there. And then this is just an overall view of the site in the context of downtown. So just kind of showing that it was very beneficial to model it first and then construct it. So, just going to step to the next project, Avonhurst Gardens. This one's located at 5 Horizon Court and was constructed, and construction started in late 2013 and was completed in 2015. The challenges for this project were a large-scale project. This is nearly double what our firm usually works with, so we're at about 214 units and just a lot of material to have to get to site, work through site, and a cladding system that we had never used before. So that we needed to find a way to actually utilize that, and we used BIM technology for that. We had custom objects that were schedulable per facade and were able to be listed with color parameters, facade names, and all of that, all within the BIM object. So I'm just gonna, so this can be shown here. So the drawing, and every single panel there has an ID for the color, facade, and has correlating construction administration information inherent to it. So just to kind of address a couple of things that we learned on this project is the object that we had created for the exterior cladding, we actually had a realization at the end of this project that we could utilize it even further with the granite countertops and different elements within the project to actually order, supply, and use them. And I'll show that a little bit later in a demonstration that I'm going to have. So yeah, and here's just an image that was taken by the same photographer, and we sent him this image and we asked, we want to take photos of this building around this way, and he actually took ours and went out and basically created them for us. And here are just a couple of the other amenity spaces. And the last project I'm going to talk about is St. Joseph's Square, which is in the north end of Halifax and is located at 5450 K Street. Challenges with this project are multiple cladding types and continued material management. So what we did on this project is we introduced a solution. And that solution was BIM X Pro, which I'm going to be showing again in a little bit. This allows the project manager to actually communicate with architects in office and request information that he might not have readily available. And this is where we actually got to use some of the object that I was talking about before. So I'm just going to switch over because I want to show you guys actually what we're trying to use on site. So just give me 1 second. Okay. So I'm just going to, these are kind of a couple of models that we have for our project, and I'm just going to go through kind of in order the way that I was presenting them. So looking at Vertu, this project here, just give that a second to load. So this one here is the one on just near Spring Garden Road, near Birmingham and Dresden. So as you can see, we can take a look at the view plane here, and just to show an example of how it helped us to design the building, this view plane here and this view plane here sectioned our building within 2 to 4 feet of the corner. So it allowed us to actually react to it and not have to go through a number of 2D information, but at our initial design, be able to cut and section and know exactly what we're doing. So I'm just going to take a step back and take a look at our next project, which was Avonhurst. So just taking a look at this one, this is where we really took a look at the cladding, and we wanted to use the object to help us with that. So as you can see, I'm just going to take this facade here. Each and every piece that was put on the building is physically categorized and placed in here. So that allowed us to understand the cladding system well before we even got to site. So we could organize it, and the design intent of the project could really be shown. So that's that one. And then I'm just going to go to the last project, which is our St. Joseph Square. So this is kind of where we have tried to be fully integrated and allow our project managers on site to request information or look for questions or have questions answered at any moment. So just taking a look at the project here, if the project manager on site has a question, he's able to go to the message directly, scroll through, and in this case, Mariana Bood, the project architect and architect of record, you can go and ask a question about it. You can so saying basically any information here, you want to understand why that's there, and this is workable in details, sections, and multiple other areas. So there we go. So that just kind of allows us to keep that communication with the site, and as you can see here, keeps a record of all of that information. So that opens up opportunities for deficiency lists and countless other information that we're just starting now to look into. So that's kind of my presentation. I just wanted to say thank you, and if you have any questions or anything, please feel free.
Excuse me, what application were you just using there?
This is called a BIM X Pro. It is a proprietary product of ArchiCAD and Graphisoft, which is based in Europe and the UK. So it's kind of, that's where it was born, and it's just kind of making its way over the pond now. So.
I'm just wondering perhaps if you can comment on your experience with coordinating with this other disciplines, so mechanical, electrical, structural engineers, and what format you had to communicate with.
Predominantly up until now, what we have done is we've taken the traditional method and had all of the 2D drawings from our consultants, and what we've done is just check them by inputting them into the system. In the long run, we're really looking forward to actually collaborating with the BIM model, but to this point, it's just kind of allowed us, we've been using it as a tool to confirm information and be able to communicate in that way. But yeah, in the future, that's our hope.
So just to follow up, do you have any knowledge of mechanical electrical engineers working within ArchiCAD, because there's an MEP modeler within ArchiCAD? But is there a working environment that's been a success, or?
There is an MEP modeler within ArchiCAD, but we have not experienced anyone that is using it presently. And the interaction between other platforms at this point it's workable, but it takes a little bit of elbow grease and tenacity to get it to that point. So.
Putting my building smart hat on. So have you experimented with IFC in this sort of industry foundation class? And how has that been?
So IFC, the object that I was talking about, we actually had a programmer from Texas that came up and actually helped us develop the object itself. So we gave him the set parameters saying, you know, we want it to identify this, we want it to list in this way. Not only that, there was additional steps of standard practice drawing elements that he had then implemented for us within secondary projects. And that object itself now, in our final project, we've used for masonry units to actually give a historic feel to that corner of, and I'll just bring that up here. So the corner here, all of the stonework there was actually built piece by piece, again, using that object. So it allowed us to section it and be able to do coursing diagrams for the construction field, and also get a kind of a scheduled list of what we need to do it before it even gets to site. So I don't know if that can over-answer.
I have a question. If, not all owners are developers, not all developers are owners, and I'm really curious if you were speaking for Louis, who you said from a very early stage encouraged the use of innovative technologies and workflows, to bring value to his projects. If Louis were here today, how do you think he might articulate the value that he has realized as a developer from the work that your team has put into using these processes and technologies?
I would think he would say that it's actually opened up a lot of opportunities with between Dexel and our sister company, Paramount, again, for facility management. We have had the ability to give schedules for parking garage lockers to the facility managers, and then they can take that information and expand upon it, and they're actually coming to us now asking more and more, like, now that they know that we have a model that is in handheld, they want to get it in their hands on site for review with potential residents in buildings at mid-construction, just so they can see it and they can actually physically understand what's happening. So
We all like to hear about the benefits of using a particular approach. In this case, we're talking about BIM. For developers, of course, bottom line is very, very important. Over the 4 or 5 years that Dexel Creations has been working hand in hand with Dexel in their developments, is it possible to quantify in some way on some of your projects, where you've realized some measurable dollar savings? Because that's oftentimes what's where people go to that is, how much am I going to save?
Currently on our St. Joseph Square project, we've actually not fully eliminated paper, but we're moving towards that step. We are working with a company called CladTech to actually, they requested the model from us. We had this model, they came to us and said, can we have it too? Like, what, can you share that with us? So we're starting to move that process out, and it's just making everybody's understanding of it a lot broader, and yeah.
Excellent. Any more questions? No? All right. Brent, thank you very much.
Enjoy your lunch.